Hi golfers, how are you doing? I wanted to just come and ask you and see how you're doing, check in and see how things are going. I've been sharing some information with you the last few days on how to improve your distance and increase it a little bit, and how to keep the golf ball more in the fairway and in play on a regular basis. But it's the things that I share with you are just really basic to me, but I want to see how you're doing with them. I've been teaching for over 45 years, and to me, the things that I teach just make common sense. Most of my golfers who've been with me for a long time, that's the number one comment they say, Darrell, that just makes common sense. But that's not what we're here for today. Today we're here for something really, really important. And what we're here for is really to talk about these little rascals right here, okay, the wedges, and how they come into the golf game and what they do for us. Harold Shalantzif, go watch the clip on Harold. It's on this website, and you'll see it'll totally shock you. Here's a guy that knocks the ball 350 plus consistently. He can flat play in the 60s all the time, okay? And guess what? You've heard of Phil Mickelson? Well, Phil Mickelson, probably the greatest short game player on the planet today, complimented Harold on the way he uses his hands in the short game. Asked him who his teacher was and where he learned this stuff. And I mean, how would you like to have Phil Mickelson complimenting you on your short game? I mean, that'd just blow my mind if the guy did that for me. And I'm going to tell you what, we've only touched the tip of the iceberg, but I want to teach you the things that are in this short game and how to use the hands with the wedges so that you can become a good player. No one's teaching the hands, but the touring pros all play the wedges with their hands and not with their arms. So I want to get this information out to you as quickly as we can. So I want you to think in terms of scoring, making numbers. Go watch the clip on Harold. Let's get scoring going and get your short game hot, okay? All right, I'm going to cover two items here. I'm going to lump them together. One of them is hitting fat and the other one's hitting thin when you're chipping, okay? I've seen too many times when you guys go, you scuff it back here and the ball only goes a few feet and you're not happy. The other one is, so that you don't hit the ground that early, you just make sure you don't hit it that early, and you skank it clear with the green, you got the same shot from the other side. Okay? We've got to get over that. This is too important a part of your game. We're trying to make some spin on the ball. So we want the arc of the circle of swing to come down into the motion, not forward. All of you are trying to feel it go forward, and the other thing you're doing is just total kiss of death to your golf swing. You're using your right hand to flip the club forward down here in the golf swing. And you're chipping like this. As a result, the club bottoms out back here because in plane geometry, if I hold the club in my right hand, my right shoulder becomes the axis point of the swing. It's going to be deepest at the axis point, and it's going to be less if I break this angle at all. And if I lose this straight line, I break the angle, I've shortened the distance from my shoulder to the golf club. And you're all doing that with this swing. You're trying to flip this thing forward and up, and that's why you're chunking behind and hitting thin. You're doing both of them because you're trying to lift it. I would like you to take the golf club in your hands and then just roll your hands. It's okay if it faces up. Club face will be open. Feel like you kind of chop from the side with your hands, like you're going to tap into a tree chopping, okay? Good. Now, once you feel that motion, I want you to learn to come and it doesn't look like I'm doing that now. It looks like I'm swinging, but I'm not. I'm doing that same motion. It feels like a side chop. I've just lowered it to the ground, and now you think I'm making a golf swing, but I'm just chopping. When I chop here with the back of my hand somewhat up, it doesn't have to be perfectly up, but somewhat up, right there, this whole thing freezes and locks. But if I go sideways, this thing just flips all over the place. And all of you are going here, here. You just got your hand just flapping back and forth like somebody patting his wife on the butt, okay? Now I want you to begin to take this thing like you're going to chop something It'll come here and there, and it'll stay low to the ground after impact. Some of you got bad hearing, so I'm going to say that again. The club will stay low to the ground after impact, and even on this little chip shot, the club will be going as fast as at least 2 or 3 inches past the ball. It won't be going as fast as right at the golf ball. That's just plain old physics. That's how we translate the feel of the golf club into the golf ball. So you hit right on past it a little ways, okay? So we've got to get the golf club itself, the sole or the bottom of the club, we've got to get that to the dirt. Now, if I close the face for this shot and go in the dirt, the sole of the club looks like a plow. It's shaped in a V coming here real sharp, and it just digs like a chisel. But if I take this golf club and open it just a few degrees, now all of a sudden the bottom of the club has a little bit of a slope or slant up, and we call that bounce. So when I hit the ground, it wants to at least bounce a little bit, not just go and dig in and stop. So what we're trying to do is with a little open, we're creating a little bounce. I'll guarantee you there'll be at least somewhere around 700 to 800 of you will email me and say, how much do you open it? I don't have a clue, and I don't care. It depends on how high or low I want to hit the shot. It's just a matter that when you open it a little bit, you create bounce, and the club skips on the ground instead of sticking into the ground, okay? As soon as you get bounce and pop through this thing just a little bit, ways with a little chipping feel, with a little chopping feel, look at there. That ball hit about 10 feet short, 8 feet short of the stick, rolled about 3 feet past. I'll hit you another one. You're going to put a lot more spin on your golf ball than what you used to. I hit that ball hard for this distance, but it had so much spin, it wouldn't even get to the hole. I'm 3 feet short. I mean, you're going to love the action you put on the golf ball, but you hit ball turf. So you're going downward, get in, get in, get in. I can go home. Yep, it did it. I'm going home. I'm going to tell you, folks, I can chip the ball. I can putt the ball. I've been doing this chipping like this for over 50 years. And it's the way, it surprised me because I've never had lessons. When I first went and watched some tour events in my middle to late 20s, the LA Open and what used to be the San Diego Andy Williams and some old timers and the Pebble Beach Bing Crosby, and I started watching the pros and what they're doing around the greens, they were doing what I do. They were using their hands like a little axe from the side, chopping like a little hammer, instead of doing like all the guys that I played with that couldn't chip or squat. So when I saw them doing what I had taught myself to do and only stumbled up on it just from trial and error and experimenting, I said, yes, old guy, you're on track. Big guy, you got it on track. You're learning what to do. So I've been teaching my students to do it ever since. All of them who won't fight me. Now some of them fight me, so, oh, Darrell, I can't do that. And I say, you're right, you can't. Because if you don't think you can, then you can't. But the ones who say, that's a little different, but I'm going to learn to do that because I want to learn to chip like you do and like touring pros. Those guys, they stay with it and they learn the feel, which when they finally catch on, they go, oh my gosh, why did I fight that? I kept trying to make something out of it. It's just a simple little tap from the sides, all it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty simple. Everybody wants me to write this 28-page ebook or something how to do that. And all you do is just take the dumb thing and act like you're going to use your left hand to toenail a nail at an angle. That's why I call it chopping. It's just a little tapping motion. When you tap, get ball ground. So you're trying to get under the ball and hit it on the way up, so you've got to get lower than the ball first, so you hit the ground first. If you don't hit the ground first, then you never touch the ground, but you're still coming up, and then you're crowning it and hitting thin. So I get two questions. How do you stop hitting fat? How do you stop hitting thin? They're both the same fix. You chop down beyond the ball so that you put backspin on it using this thing like an axe. Trust me, it's the most important shot you'll ever learn in the game. Recently did a webinar, and that's why this thing excites me so much. I've been teaching for over 45 years, and I've always gotten good results with my students, especially when they stand in front of me. But golfers off this webinar, we invited a group in of my special coaching Darrell Klassen Inner Circle people, and let them go through this webinar that we're going to be talking about before too long, but I'll share that with you later. But nonetheless, guys who'd never broken 100, 90 or 80, suddenly these guys were breaking into a whole new level just from the very, very first webinar. And it was on the short game with the scoring stuff. It just blew them away. And you can't miss what you're gonna see, okay? And this is just the tip of the iceberg, because the stuff I'm sharing with you, just to kind of show you what we're gonna do, it doesn't even start to scratch the surface. We're gonna talk about in-depth things on the short game and help you become good. You saw some golfers that I've taught and things they've done, they've accomplished. And I've got something for you. That's what I've got. I'm gonna go to my office in just a few minutes here from the golf course. I want you to come with me when I get home. I'm gonna take you to my office, and I've got something I want to share. In this 4-week program that we're going to go through the NeverFail golf system, you just can't fail. You're going to be a way better golfer, and you're going to be making lower scores as we get through. In fact, let me read some comments to you. We've got 174 of these crazy things, but I'm just going to go over a couple with them. Joe McIntyre wrote in, that's after the very first one. This is after the first session. My second time out playing golf using the NeverFail method, I shot par. Okay, I am much more relaxed using this method because the pressure's off. No tension, just go out and have fun. Thank you, Darrell. Dale Hollowell wrote, and he said, after the first week, he said, Darrell, I got involved in your NeverFail golf system less than 2 months ago after watching some of your videos on your YouTube. Now, this was just the latest in a series of efforts over the last 5 years to find some instruction that would work for me. Boy, am I glad I did. Before studying your program, I hit it fat, thin, shanked it, or sliced it all the time. I was all over the place. Already I've greatly reduced my mishits, my fats or thins, and never sliced the ball. I do have a tendency to pull it left and sometimes snap hook it. The program has paid for itself just in the reduction of golf balls lost. Okay, it is now enjoyable to practice or to play without suffering from paralysis by analysis because of too many swing thoughts. Now I just make sure I turn my left shoulder level and coil and chop or hammer to start the downswing. After watching the webinar, I went to the practice green and worked on chipping with a more gentle grip. It made a huge difference in my consistency and feel. I still chunk it occasionally, but hopefully this will improve with more patience and practice. Thanks again for making the game simple enough for even an old dog like me to learn. I'm 54, he says. I now have something enjoyable that I can share with my sons age 14 and 11. I am really looking forward to the next webinar. Well, apparently he was, because Dale wrote back the next week after that, the second shot, and said, I play on a golf course, mostly par 3s with a few par 4s. I tried the information on the webinar on breaking 90 on one of the longer 3 pars. It's 191 yards, and some of my worst scores have been on this hole. And I've just come to dread playing it because it often just destroys and wrecks my entire round. Normally I hit a 4-iron off the tee going for the green. Yesterday, making it into a par 4, I hit a 5-iron trying to lay up about 160-70 yards. I hit the best 5-iron of my life with the ball just off the left front of the green. The pin was set in the back part of the green. I did hit a poor chip shot, but 2-putted for my new par. Not only did I score better than normal, but I left the hole in a much better frame of mind. After all, I did par the hole and finished the round playing very well. Thanks again for making the game simple and fun. Isn't that great? Joe Horvath wrote and says, man, I killed it. He said, I am happy to report that last Saturday I had another round in the mid-90s. That makes 3 out of the last 4. Now that may not sound impressive, all that impressive to you, but this year I slid into shooting over 100 when 2 years ago I felt like I was poised to break into the 80s. Somehow I got out of the sync, just got all out of sync this year. The next problem is that I never had a good foundation to build on, and I was constantly taking golf lessons to fix my swing, which I never had in the first place. During the past 2 months, your teaching has given me a solid understanding of how to approach the game and methods to develop the swing and play the game better. I'm working diligently on the half swing to internalize it into a habit. All my life, I've been trying to feel the correct golf swing, never really knowing what that meant. But now I really believe I know. Thanks, Joe. That's a good comment. Rolf Nohe writes and says, though last night's round was not record-breaking, nor did I have any hole that was played extremely well, I still want to send you a report on how I did. And tell you that for the second week in a row, I shot a 50 on my league golf. Now, that doesn't sound all that great, but considering how much I had struggled in the beginning of the year, it is a major accomplishment. For the second week in a row, I was matched against someone who had a lower handicap than myself. My opponent's handicap was a 10, while mine's a 15. And I beat my opponent without our handicaps. Both my partner and myself took 15 points from our respective opponents. The maximum was 20, for a total of 40 for the team. The best part being that for the past 2 weeks, we've beaten the first place team in our division, and now we're in first place ourselves. Good going, Rolf. Well, golfers, I hope that sounds good to you. I'll tell you what, these guys are excited. They're writing in and they're doing super stuff. Now, since these guys have watched this thing, we've added 2 more modules to it. So it really gets exciting out there. And so if you want to start improving your golf game, shooting better scores, understanding what's going on and what golf is really about, and getting the questions answered that you've had for years and years and years, not be susceptible to all the junk and gobbledygook that you read in the PGA or hear from your PGA pros and reading all the magazines and on the TV and all that stuff about golf. If you want to get down to the real facts and improve your game, make golf much easier and a lot more fun, then we'd really like to have you to join our group. This is a very special select group. Now, there are over 3,000 people right now who are watching this information that want to become part of this group. The problem with that is, if I let 3,000 people in, I can't deal with everybody. Okay? So I only let 100 people in the class at a time. So what I'm doing for you is I'm going to give you an opportunity to go down below right now. If this sounds like something you'd like to be involved in, you're not making a commitment to go into it yet, but you're going to get a 24-hour early bird notification so that, because we're going to start doing this thing next week. Okay, we're going to start the class next week. So you're going to get a 24-hour early bird notification if you're interested and you get on the short list here and you say, let me know because I think I want to do this, all right? And remember, and I don't know how fast 100 are going to sell out. I have no clue, but with 3,000 people looking at it and wanting it, you just do the math on it yourself and see how that turns out, okay? And we'll just go from there. All right?